Did you ever consider the fact that some of the people, and possibly most of the people, that shouted Hosanna and waved palm branches and laid their cloaks on the ground before Jesus as he rode into Jerusalem proclaiming he's the Messiah, did you ever consider that in just a few short days, they turned on him? And maybe even worse, some demanded his execution, some of the same people in that crowd. And it's like, I thought about that. I thought to myself, well, that would never be me. I would never do that. I used to think that until I realized why they turned on Jesus. The simple fact is this: Jesus didn't fill their expectations. They wanted to be saved from Roman oppression, and he had much grander plans in mind. And when he did not do what they thought he should do, they walked away. Now, the truth of the matter is this: you and I may not be so different. I mean, think about it this way. Have you ever prayed for something, or you asked God for something, a healing of a loved one, or a new job, or a certain pressure to be lifted from your life, and it didn't happen? Or maybe at least the way you expected. And in that moment, we can have the same response as the crowd that turned on Jesus. God didn't come through, and maybe a little bit of seed of bitterness or resentment kind of builds in your heart, and next thing you know, you find yourself distancing yourself from God. You see, just like Jesus had far bigger plans than to free people from Roman rule, but to free us from sin and death, the same is true in your life. When God doesn't come through the way you expect, doesn't mean he's not God. It means you and I are not God. Because isn't that really the heart of the issue? When we think we know best, and if we know best, then I know better than God, then that makes me God. You see how that kind of just turns into an issue. So really the question is this: will you, by faith, continue to trust that God knows better for your life, especially when your life isn't going the way you planned? Because I do believe, I trust that you believe, that he has far better plans for you and me than we have for ourselves.